Taste alone will not tell you which foods are high in sodium or not. So here's a simple example for you. And what a lot of people don't realize is that a simple bagel, a 4-inch bagel, can have as much as 450 milligrams of sodium. And if you eat that bread, you don't taste the sodium, but it adds up to 450 milligrams in just a 4-inch. So you need to learn to read food labels and limit this whenever you can. So let's take a look at one right now. And here we're looking at is a simple 1-cup serving of organic milk. And I want you to notice there that that simple 1-cup serving of milk is going to contain 130 milligrams of sodium. Now, ask yourself this, is it naturally occurring or is it added in? Well, you don't know unless you consult the ingredients list here. So if you look through here, there's nothing in this ingredients list that's showing us that this company added extra sodium to this product. So therefore, you can assume that this is all 100% naturally occurring sodium, which is perfectly okay. And again, before we'll just reiterate this, 30% calcium means that there's also 300 milligrams of calcium as well. So this is where you need to be getting your sodium from, naturally occurring sources, not the added in stuff that you get from so many packaged pre-processed foods. So how do you cut it from your diet? Well, simple suggestion is eat more fresh foods, raw foods, and fewer processed foods. If we're getting 77% of the sodium from our diets from those processed foods, then limit them in your diet as much as you can. And then also, fresh meat is going to be lower in sodium than the lunch meats, like bacon, hot dog, sausage, and ham. So, buy fresh and frozen poultry or meat that has not been injected with sodium, and just common sense things will significantly lower your sodium in your diet, and I promise you over time you're going to see those beneficial effects translated into your blood pressure and those other things like that. Opt for low sodium products. So if you're looking at a box of crackers, a whole wheat cracker sitting on the store shelves, you're going to be able to find those that are regular versions, and you're going to find those that are low sodium or reduced sodium versions. And common sense would tell you if everything else is comparable, the calories, the servings, the fiber, and all those other important nutrients that we're looking at, choose the one that has the reduced amount of sodium, and you're going to save yourself several milligrams in the process. Remove salt from recipes whenever possible. A lot of recipes don't need to have salt added to them. It's just there so the food potentially tastes better for those that feel that they need that sodium in there. But a lot of recipes, you don't have to include it in there, and you can leave it out. And then another one is just to limit your use of sodium-laden condiments. Salad dressings, sauces, dips, ketchups, mustard, and relish are very high sodium-containing condiments that you can either limit or eliminate from your diets. And in place, you can use things like herbs and spices and other natural flavorings to enhance food. Most natural spices contain very little, if any, milligrams of sodium, that's huge. So if you can somehow switch over to using those things, you'll save yourself a lot of milligrams of sodium. And then the biggest one is you need to learn to eliminate using the salt shaker on your foods. And if you can do that, I promise you're going to see beneficial effects in your blood pressure. So I would highly recommend that if you are a person that needs to add salt through that salt shaker for every meal and snack or most meals and snacks, that's something I would highly suggest and recommend that you eliminate immediately. And you can do that because your taste for salt is acquired. So that means it is reversible. And a lot of people don't realize this. The taste for salt is acquired. You can reverse it over time, but it takes time. And for most people, it takes about 8 to 12 weeks for that shift in that taste preference to occur in most people. But it can happen if you persevere through it and you stay focused and committed on really limiting how much of it that you use. In about 8 to 12 weeks, your preference for that salty salt shaker will be reduced, and you may not need to use it ever again. So here's what I want you to know from all this stuff, guys. 1 teaspoon of salt contains 2,300 milligrams of sodium. And what you're looking at there is how much sodium that you should get per day, no more of per day, from those that those food products that added in, that are processed, packaged, the foods that naturally contain it, and what you add while cooking or at the table. So you should not get more than that. Excessive amounts of sodium intake leads to chronic health problems. Avoid adding salt while cooking and at the table whenever possible, and that healthy adults should consume no more than 2,300 milligrams per day. So start paying attention to it. Most of you who are in this program now and committed to it have already seen the beneficial effects of reducing sodium in your diet, and you're going to continually keep reaping those rewards. So I hope this lesson enlightened you a little bit, and if not, hopefully it'll kick you in the butt and get you started on reducing how much of this that you do consume. All right, guys, I'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.